You ever stop and think about how quickly, how completely a life can change? Well, today we're going to pull on that delicate thread of fate. We'll look at how it's spun and what some ancient wisdom can teach us about, navigating all the crazy twists and turns of our own lives.
I mean, really think about it. 1 minute, you're just going about your day, everything's normal, maybe even a little boring. And the next? A single phone call, one email, a knock at the door. And boom, everything is different. Just like that.
And that's exactly where we're going to start, with a knock at a door and a life that's about to be totally flipped upside down by a sudden, completely unexpected turn of fortune.
So take the story of the great novelist Cormac McCarthy. Now, even after he was getting all this critical acclaim for his writing, he was, believe it or not, living in a motel room, super humble circumstances. He was all in on his art, for sure, but he was not a wealthy guy. And then, one day, who's on the other side? A messenger. And the news is just wild. McCarthy had just been awarded the MacArthur Genius Grant, and along with that title came a check for $250,000, out of the blue. His entire financial world was rewritten in a single moment.
This story really hits home a simple but powerful point. We spend so much time worrying about what could go wrong, bracing for bad news, but life's sudden turns can also be incredibly, fantastically good. The universe doesn't just throw challenges at us. Sometimes it delivers these amazing triumphs.
I mean, come on, a brilliant but broke artist in a motel suddenly gets a huge pile of cash? It sounds like something straight out of a myth, right? And what's funny is, the ancients, well, they had a very specific way of explaining exactly these kinds of unbelievable events. So let's dive into how they saw it. See, for the ancient Greeks and Romans, something like what happened to McCarthy wasn't just random luck. Not at all. They saw the hand of a powerful, divine force at work, a cosmic weaver who was quite literally spinning the thread of every single human life.
And this is her, Clotho. In Greek mythology, she was one of the three fates, and her job specifically was to spin that thread of life. Just think about what that means for a second. The length of your life, the quality of it, all the twists, the knots, the smooth parts, none of it was up to you. It was all in her hands.
And this belief wasn't just about good things happening. The famous playwright Aeschylus nails the other side of the coin here. The ancients were convinced that if trouble was headed your way, it was just as predetermined, and just as impossible to escape as some great destiny. It was all just part of that thread Clotho was spinning. Now, to us, this might sound a little fatalistic, kind of passive, right? But for them, it was actually a source of real clarity. By accepting that they weren't the ones in the driver's seat, they kind of freed themselves from a certain type of stress. It didn't matter how much you worried or planned, you couldn't change the design being spun by the fates.
Okay, so if we aren't really in control, how are we supposed to live? This is where the Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca comes in with some absolutely incredible advice on how to handle both the good times and the bad, the triumphs and the trials.
Wow, this is such a balanced and powerful way to look at life. When things are going amazing, don't get arrogant, don't assume it's going to last forever. But, and this is the important part, when you're going through hell, don't give up hope. Don't believe for a second that your struggles are permanent. This isn't about being negative, it's about being ready. It's a mindset that makes you resilient no matter what happens.
And look at that, Seneca brings us right back to our spinner, Clotho. He says she is constantly mixing the good with the bad, never letting fortune just sit still. She's always spinning. Life isn't supposed to be a calm, steady state of happiness or sadness. It's a dynamic, churning, ever-changing thing.
And this is the core of it, right here. The big win you're celebrating today might actually have the seeds of your next big challenge hidden inside it. And that awful, difficult trial you're suffering through right now, it might be the very thing that sets you up for your greatest triumph down the road. It's all connected, always in motion.
So, we've got a modern story, we've got some ancient philosophy. But why does any of this matter to you and me today? Let's boil it all down to what it means for actually living our lives. What it all really comes down to is this. We have to accept that life is, at its heart, unpredictable. The good times, they don't last forever. And knowing that should make us humble and grateful when we have them. But here's the flip side, the hopeful part. The bad times don't last forever either, and that's what gives us the strength to keep going. The only thing you can actually count on, day in and day out, is change itself.
And that leaves us with this one final, really powerful question. The ancients thought we couldn't control the thread of fate.
But what the Stoics like Seneca taught is that we absolutely can control how we react to it. So the real question isn't about how you stop fate from spinning. It's about how you choose to live and act and be when that thread spins your way.